All right, let's get ready to rumble. Today, we're stepping into the ring for a real sorting showdown. In one corner, we've got Merge Sort, and in the other, Quick Sort. These are two of the absolute heavyweight champions of the algorithm world, and this is a classic battle of strategy, speed, and pure efficiency.
But before we dive in, let me ask you something. How would you sort, say, 1,000,000 things, instantly? I'm talking 1,000,000 customer records, 1,000,000 stock prices, whatever. This isn't some abstract puzzle. It's the kind of problem modern computing tackles every single second. And the answer really comes down to picking the right tool for the job.
You see, the simple sorting methods you might have learned about first, they just don't cut it in the big leagues. They have what we call quadratic performance, or O of n squared. And what that really means is that as your list gets bigger, the time it takes to sort just explodes. Seriously, if sorting 10 things takes 100 steps, sorting 100 things could take 10,000. So that 1,000,000 items we talked about? Forget about it. The computer would be crunching on that forever.
So let's meet our first contender. In this corner, weighing in with a rock-solid strategy, it's Merge Sort. We call it the divide and conquer strategist. And its whole philosophy, its entire game plan, is about taking a huge, messy problem and just breaking it down into tiny, easy-to-solve pieces.
Merge Sort's game plan is this really elegant three-step combo. First, the divide. It just splits the list right down the middle. Then, the conquer. It does the exact same thing to each of those halves, and again, until you're left with a bunch of little lists with just one item each. And a list with one item is, well, it's already sorted, right? And then comes the really clever part, the merge. It starts combining all those tiny sorted lists back together into one final perfect list.
Okay, talk is cheap. Let's see it in action. We're going to start with this list of numbers all jumbled up. First up, round one, the divide. So here we go. The algorithm takes our list and just chops it in half. Then it takes those two halves and chops them in half. See the pattern? It just keeps doing this over and over until every single number is sitting all by itself in its own little list. The big, scary problem has just been broken down into a bunch of super simple, already sorted pieces.
And now for the magic trick, the merge. Think about it like you have two small sorted stacks of cards. To combine them, you just look at the top card of each stack, pick the smaller one, and put it down. Then you do it again. That's exactly what the algorithm does. It starts by merging pairs, like turning 10 and 4 into a sorted 4-10. Then it takes those newly sorted pairs and merges them, and keeps working its way back up the chain until, boom, one single perfectly sorted list.
And here's the really crucial thing to understand about Merge Sort. Its performance is incredibly predictable. It doesn't matter if the list is almost sorted or a total mess, it does the same amount of work every single time. That's why it's famous for its speed, what we call O(n) log n. And trust me, that is a massive leap forward from that O(n) squared mess we talked about before.
All right, and now for our second contender. In the other corner, we've got Quick Sort, the pick and partition specialist. Now, it also uses a divide and conquer idea, but its whole approach, its technique is totally different.
Okay, so Quick Sort's whole game plan centers on this one special element it chooses, called a pivot. Step 1, pick a pivot. Step 2, and this is the key move, is partition. The algorithm shuffles the whole list around so that every number smaller than the pivot ends up on one side, and every number bigger than the pivot is on the other. Then, step 3, it just does the same thing all over again on those two new, smaller lists. So yeah, the pivot is really the heart of this whole thing. The entire goal of that partition step is to get that one single chosen element into its final correct spot. Once that pivot is locked in place, a huge chunk of the work is already done. Okay, let's see this partition magic happen for real. We've got this jumbled up list here, and for our pivot, we're just going to pick the very last element, the number 4. All right, watch closely now. The algorithm uses a couple of pointers to scan through the list. Anytime it finds a number that's smaller than our pivot, which is 4, it shuffles it over to the left side. The whole idea is to build a wall, right? To separate all the small numbers from all the big numbers. And there it is. After just one pass, check it out. Our pivot, the number 4, is now sitting exactly where it belongs in the final sorted list. And we're left with two smaller problems to solve. A list of numbers smaller than 4 on the left, and the list of numbers bigger than 4 on the right.
Okay, we've seen their moves. We know their strategies. It is time for the main event, the performance showdown. Let's really see how these two stack up when the pressure is on.
This table right here tells a really interesting story.
On an average day, they're both champions. They both clock in at that super fast ON log N speed. But look at the worst case scenario. This is where you see the huge difference. Merge sort is steady as a rock, always ON log N, no matter what. Quick sort, though, it has an Achilles heel. Its worst case can drop all the way down to that sluggish ON squared. So what's the trade-off? Well, quick sort sorts in place, meaning it shuffles the original list without needing extra memory. Merge sort, on the other hand, needs to create copies, so it uses more space.
And that brings us to the absolute key for understanding quicksort. Its entire performance lives or dies based on how good that partition step is. The big question is always, did the pivot split the list into two roughly equal chunks, or did it end up being really lopsided?
And this picture shows you exactly why that pivot choice is so critical. On the left, you see what happens with a good pivot. Everything is nice and balanced, the problem gets smaller super fast, and you get that awesome O of n log n speed. But on the right, well, that's the nightmare scenario. A bad pivot choice, over and over again, creates this totally unbalanced, lopsided mess. This is what causes the performance to just fall off a cliff, all the way down to O of n squared. At that point, it's literally no faster than the simplest, slowest sorting methods out there.
So, after all that, who's the winner? Who wins the showdown? It's time for the final verdict. Which of these champions should you be choosing?
Okay, let's break it down. First up, merge sort. Think of it as the reliable workhorse. Its biggest advantage is that guaranteed ON log n performance. It'll never let you down, period. It's also what we call a stable sort, which just means if you have two identical items, it keeps them in their original order. The only real downside? It needs extra memory to do its thing.
And then you've got quicksort, the high-performance racer. In the real world, on an average dataset, this one is often actually faster than merge sort, and its killer feature is that it sorts in place. It's super memory efficient. But, and this is a big but, you always have that risk of the worst-case scenario. If you're trying to sort data that's already sorted, for example, a basic quicksort can be a total disaster.
So, the final verdict? Well, the truth is, there's no single winner here. It's not that simple. The right choice totally depends on what you need. Do you need guaranteed, rock-solid performance where a random slowdown would be a catastrophe? Then you pick the workhorse, merge sort. But if you're tight on memory and you're willing to bet on getting that best-case speed, you go with the racer, quicksort.
So there you have it. You now know the secrets behind two of the most important sorting algorithms ever invented. Seriously, these are the foundations for how we handle massive amounts of data every day. But it does leave us with one last, tantalizing question. What if we could actually break that ON log n speed limit? Is it even possible to sort faster? Well, that's a story for another time.